Alright, welcome to another episode of Build with Raymond. And in today's episode, I'm just going to go through, one of the sprint review that I do, right, every 2 weeks to basically reflect on the things that was done, what can I do better, and basically progress on the business side, right? So you get to see all the numbers unfiltered, as well as like some of the thinking behind building this company. So this is sprint 3. That means there were 2 sprints before this, but this is the first time I record using this tool. So a quick shout out to Obsidian and MAP. So I make use of Obsidian to actually keep track of all the nodes that I have. And you see, just Wiz itself is actually a very big, piece of notes itself. And this whole thing is using Markdown, and that's how I can create this slide really, really quickly. So every line you see is a new slide, and I can really quick, get to creating these slides really quickly, right? So I don't have to get fussy with like formatting, PowerPoint, dragging and dropping, making things align. That's not the point. I really just want to make things presentable for myself, and also for me to work on presentation really quickly, right? So just a quick sample. I was doing this for one founder. Just show you content clinic. So you can see that I was putting up some research materials for slide, and this is a pretty long slide, and you can see, so this is called MAP, right? MERP, and you can see like I can get into creation of slides really quickly without worrying about like the formatting and all of that. That's not the point, right? So this is like 70 slides worth. If I were to do that in PowerPoint, that's going to take me a couple of days, right? And here I'm just like writing text, so I can focus on the content. Right, coming right back, so to introduction, try out Obsidian, try out MAP if you are like into note taking. I use Obsidian a lot for conversations, so a lot of the conversations that I have, every time I talk to someone, I actually make a note of like the conversations I have, just so that I do not forget the next time, like some of the things that I said or the person said the next time we meet again. So coming back up here, so back to the sprint review. So that was an unexpected to shout out, but hey, here you go. So sprint, what's new, right? This 2 weeks, what was added was the first one is contextual CTA. We mentioned before. So just to do a quick recap on Wiz, right now we are supporting something called AI-powered automatic CTA suggestions. Quite a mouthful, probably a better way to name it, but the long and short of it is that right now, every time you write an article, call to action will automatically be matched to it. So for instance, this article talks about best headless CMS for freelancer. So obviously the person is looking for a CMS. So the CTA is like, hey, are you choosing CMS? Try out Wiz, right? And if you are a developer looking for something like, Next.js environment variable, right? Then we talk about, hey, how about you get back some engineering time back from marketing, and don't let manager and blog get in your way of your core product. Yep. So going after the engineering thing, and for let's say a pure marketer who's just like thinking about content and sales and whatnot, then basically, hey, getting started content is hard. This is a newsletter that you can join. So we contextualize the call to action to whatever the blog post is. So this is pretty new. Was just introduced in this sprint, and the second one is actually a powered by Wisp attribution. So if you take a look at pricing, right, we do support a free forever plan, and it says attribution required. So that means to say blogs that are running the free versions of Wisp will actually have this powered by Wisp appended to the blog post automatically. And that is great because people don't have to configure their blogs or do like additional work on just attribution, but basically and the moment that they make any payments or sign up for any other paid plan, this will be removed from their blogs. So it's great. So whether that actually allows me to keep running this free forever plan without basically it's just extra exposure for me, right? And for people that are using this, right, they would love it's basically free CMS for them, right? And they can either upgrade to Pro or Indie Hacker Pass to basically work on it. Something also this sprint was actually I'm restricting more of the Indie Hacker Pass, right? Just so that for people who wants it, they can come back for it. So there's limited number of passes that's going to be sold every day, right? Next up is better sign up attribution. So one of the things that I want to keep track better is actually what's leading people to Wisp. How do they end up here? Is it through LinkedIn channel? Is it through paid ads channel? Is it through some of the blog? Is it through guest posting? Is it through some directory that has like our template listed? So all of these things allow me to make a better decision on what's working and what I should double down on and what's not working. So having observability into the incoming funnel is also pretty important for me. In addition, our SEO traffic is growing, so I would also want to see like which are the articles that are converting to, right? Coming back down, sharing some internal numbers, in all transparency, wiki active users up from 32 to 35. Not too impressive, and earlier on I did talk about like using this as a key metrics, but I'm having second thoughts now because I think revenue is also very important. So in terms of revenue, we are currently at 96 MAU monthly revenue. Sorry, my blank. So we make $96 a month, and we are up 50% from the last sprint. Total blog posts right now is total users and total blog posts is going at a good rate. So we are up 18% on like the number of blog posts in our ecosystem. We are up 23% on the total number of users, and there's some shift in like how we acquire users, and I'm going to cover that later on, like where our traffic acquisition comes from. So let's talk about live blogs. I'm always very happy to showcase like projects that are using us. So I'm going to go into some of those projects. Most notably, there's Learning Loop. For all of you here who are founders, do check out Learning Loop. Basically, it's a community of like founders in the early stage, primarily focused right now in Singapore. So a lot of those founders are physically located in Singapore, but they come from all around the world. And what Sina does for you is that they pair you up into peer groups of 3, right? And you can see their blog is actually powered by Wisp, right? So that's one. Second one, I love Pick.money. So Pick is done up by Sherry, and right now they are powered by Wisp, right? So if you go over the Pickpedia, all of these things are actually Wisp powered. Okay. Yeah, you can click into it. You can see it's pretty much like article suggestion for Wisp. Okay, so favorite customers, and for the ones that are on the free plan, you can see that there are companies and there are indie hacker projects that are also on the free plan. So Self Planner, that's one. They basically do this 4-year high school college stuff. That's that. Wider Collective, they are in agencies. Go to the homepage, you can see, right? So a very cool homepage. Look at this, right? These are the things that you can build using Wisp. So this is like live from Wisp, right? You have this, which is a chicken farm in Turkey. I love this. Like, I mean, if a chicken farm can use Wisp, like, why not? Other people. Right, so this is chicken farm, and you can see there's like this powered by Wisp right now. So that's how you know they are using the free plan, and that's how you know it's working. So there's a money management, Carrot Money, and you can see this is powered by Wisp again, right? SMS Hero, Toustant, yeah. So all this powered by Wisp, right? And then there are some personal blogs, and let's talk about like how this is discovered. So for the longest time, we actually do not ask for site owners to tell us like, hey, website, which website you are building, right? I do actually send out a form to my users to to ask them to tell me, hey, would you like to share what you're building? But not everyone submits. But since the Powered by Wiz actually gets turned on, right? Basically, I'm able to go to Ahrefs, right? So this is a free account. So for those of you who wants a better observability in terms of SEO into your own blogs and whatnot, do sign up for Ahref free account. And over there, you can actually see where are some of the links coming from. And all I need to do is like click the filter on first seen, and these are like the new like blogs that comes up. So basically they floats to the surface, and I can see like which are the blogs that are using us because they get tagged with Powered by Wiz. So the good part about this is that I get a free backlink. Okay, not sure free, right? I get a backlink from my free customers, and they get to continue using it for free, right? And it's a win-win situation because they come back and point back to my traffic and basically add more exposure. So the moment they grow, there are more people going to their blog. They can see that their blog is actually powered by Wisp, and if they do wish to remove that and turn into a paid customers, they could, right? So you can use Ahrefs to basically do to find backlinks back to your site. Interesting note is that let's take a look at that again. So if I were to show you some of the new links acquired, this one. So you can see the new links acquired. A lot of them are powered by Wiz, except okay. So there's this one that talks about the AI emails, which was a while ago. Great job, get free link. But something interesting is this. Take a look. So this site called Find Your Audience, and they're just linking back to like my Gong content marketing case study, and that's amazing, right? I'm getting free traffic. I did not pitch to them, and they have it's a okay domain ranking, and this is like free link. So I'm starting to see some of my blogs getting picked up by other people just organically. There's nothing that I need to do for that. So a little bit of insights into where things are going. This is my search traffic since the very start. What happened here was that this was the AI episode where I basically sent out 1,000 emails, and people found out about it and were visiting my site because they were searching directly for Wiz CMS. So you can see it gone up like crazy high and then quickly dropped down in the next 2 days. Typically what happens during launches, right? So a lot of these kind of peaks are minor launch activities that happened. So over here is the recent updates over here. So if you can, speaking of Ahrefs, so coming back to what's authority checker? No. Go to backlink checker, right? This is a free tool. You don't even need an account. You can click on, you can run this, and you can see the domain rating. So my domain rating has been going up. It was only like 30 or something 2 weeks back or so, right? So it's been climbing tremendously ever since like the Powered by Wiz got turned on. I think it went up by almost 10 points. And from here you can also see some of the backlinks that were newly acquired as well. Okay, so to give an to basically have an understanding of like who are linking to your website and what are the contents that are growing. So back to that. So this gives you an external view, like you don't have to log in. There's no need for you to set up anything. This is the search console, right? Once you set it up, you can see like the different number of clicks each day you have. So I started out with like maybe 6, average 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm starting to see impression climb and clicking the number of clicks climb, right? I won't show you the query, but basically this is where we are going. And a lot of the reason is because number one, domain authority is going up. So it's a compounding effect, right? So when domain authority goes up, your Google takes your site more seriously because more people are linking to your site. And the second thing is that there are more content that is being published on Wisp, right? And the number of index page goes up. We increase our large surface area. So when think of it as like the multiplication of both, right? So increasing the number of articles increases the surface area, but then if I do not have enough good domain authority, like I will not be taken seriously by Google, right? On the other hand, if I have good domain rating, but I'm only ranking for a few keywords, right? My surface area is also very small. If you take a look at this, I'm gonna move this away. I'm having impressions. I'm having activities for over 1,000 keywords now. So that's amazing, right? That means that there are different things that you can search and you can find words. Right? I'm not going to the details of like what are those queries. Just so that I do not make it easy for competitors to spy on like what's working for me. Okay, so that's on the SEOs and whatnot. So traffic's coming in. Now let's take a look at, okay, so now traffic come into my site. When do they convert? And by conversion right now, I make it very loosely as like a sign up account, right? I don't want to talk so much about a paid account just yet because that part hasn't been fully fleshed out. So let's talk about just sign up accounts. So every time a user get sign up on Wisp, actually I'll get I'm actually logging how they come about. And prior to this, a lot of the user sign up actually comes from this Next.js template that I put out there. So it's this template site. For those of you who are new, there's this free blog template you can use. And yeah, for the longest time it was through that only. But right now, something interesting is that you can see people are searching directly for Wisp on Google for various reasons, and even on DuckDuckGo I'm appearing. So it goes to show like there's a little bit of brand, there's a little bit of word of mouth out there now, and one of the interesting link is actually from YouTube, right? So one of my YouTube videos is actually leading people to my website, and actually they click on the link that goes to my multi-tenancy feature. So I get an idea of like what are the things that are causing people to convert. So multi-tenancy is something that perhaps I had to double down on, whether it's like video, whether it's like LinkedIn posts, whether it's like blog topic, so on and so forth, right? So that's an interesting area. So this kind of things get float up because I have built-in observability into the sign up and conversion process. So the things that I'm running right now, I'm running various experiments. Number one, LinkedIn, right? More posts on LinkedIn. I'm trying to do like 3 a week, but right now I'm doing a launch for Product Hunt, so I'm trying to target 5 a week this week, right? So that's a little bit tough. The next one is actually Google Ads. So right now, it's not really working. I can show you how it looks like. It's been spending, let's do last 14 days. So just Google Ads itself spent $132, and honestly, 0 conversions, leading to 0 signups. CPC is roughly higher than $1 right now, and yeah, it's annoying. So I'm spending money, running various experiments, but it's not just working. So I'm doing micro tweaks. The thing about Google Ad is that your budget will also limit how fast you can iterate on the experiments. And I don't want to you have to run it for multiple days. So it's not as easy to configure. It's just very delayed feedback on that. So there's nothing useful out of Google Ads right now that I would like to cover, because it's been pretty much a dud, and I'm still optimizing and trying to figure out how to make things work. Okay, because right now it's driving 0 conversion. I'll be very upfront with that. So I'm still trying to figure that out myself. Next thing is Next.js templates. This is obviously working, right? So I have a template. This is driving quite a bit of traffic. It's obviously working. So the template is driving traffic, Versal links to it. People come in organically through various different platforms, and I love this design. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Gig is running on this, right? So if you take a look at my own personal blog, Gig is running on that template. The only difference is that it's on dark mode. Just click on this, right? But it's not so good for a corporate blog, right? A corporate blog usually have multiple focus they would like to zoom in on, and that blog template is not so good for corporate blogs, right? So I have some ideas around okay, maybe I need to create another template for corporate blogs, right? That's the Next.js template. So besides just high level, like looking at analytics, looking at traffic, I'm also talking to more users these days, right? Founders, trying to get an idea of like how do they think about, not just CMS but content marketing, and how does content marketing fit into the early 0 to 1 stage of growth, right? And also beyond the 0 to 1 stage, like where would they like to go? So I've spoken to a few founders, and basically have a brief idea of what people want, right? um, People don't want a CMS, right? They want a strategy around sales and content, and basically traffic and conversion, right? And a lot of the time it starts off from the strategy point of view, rather than like, okay, I want to buy a CMS. So before the CMS conversations even come by, we need to tackle like how do we do the strategy parts. So something I can do here is like provide more content and value around like the sales and strategy, the sales strategy as well as content strategy aspects. Because what I do see is that there's a way to actually marry both of this together, right? Sales doesn't necessarily just need to be like sales, and content doesn't means that you have to write it and wait for people to come. An interesting application of like Wiz right now that I see is also on temporary blocks. So something that is interesting about this template over here is that it runs on Next.js, and it's actually very easy to do a redirect after that. So imagine you're a company, right? So let's say Wiz, and this is running, let's say, on Framer or on Webflow, and I want to move the entire thing in-house right now. So what I'll do is that I'll actually create a dot, like blog dot, instead of www, you have a blog dot with dot. Okay, that sounds silly because mine is with dot blog, right? And that sends you to this template. While this website is going through a rehaul, at the same time, you can start building SEO traffic backlinks onto this blog. And the interesting thing about Next.js is that I can actually turn on redirect at the Next.js level, and I can do a 403, right? 304, sorry, over to here to do a permanent redirect. That means any link juice going to the previously created blog is going back to the main blog itself, right? So and that's an interesting use case that I have found, and probably can package with some of this new sales and content strategies together. With some of the potential clients, they also talked about like package service. They would like some design, they would like some web development. So I'm also thinking like, oh, could I package some of these things together for some of these clients? The last thing is content research, right? So people want to write, they don't know what to write, right? Sometimes you're just not so very informed about like what your audience really wants to read, and you're just thinking about what you want to say, right? And the content research actually could be valuable for companies that would like to get serious with like audience focused content. So these are new things that will kind of like will give me directions around some of the new blog posts or LinkedIn posts that I would like to push out, right? Because these are things that people like to read. And I actually did a content strategy sessions with one of the founders, which we had this very long blog post, this very long slide, right? And the question generally is around like, I use a very interesting template, right, to go about like content strategy. But he's also interested in things like, you talk about certain things like, getting forecasting industry trends, having expert opinions on certain things, but the person's not an expert at it, right? And that's interesting because it's actually a way for you to do sales and outreach, because instead of you writing about the forecast or using AI to write it, you can actually invite the industry expert, which will be your clients, right, or potential clients, to actually contribute to the matter, right? Whether it's a podcast, whether it's a blog post, you can do that together. So it becomes the having a publications itself becomes an outreach strategy, right? And he's also interested in, I found him various forums to basically put together some research material. Like there is like primary raw research data that he can read from to understand what his audience are, looking out for. And he's asking like, how do I find those forums, right? and there are other things around like that content strategy that interests him. So I think this will be another YouTube video basically where I break down like how I think about like a new company's content strategy, and how does that marry into their sales strategy. So next thing, right? So beyond just reflecting on what has happened, I'm also thinking about what can move the needle, right? So my focus this week is already Thursday, and my product hunter launch is actually happening in about 3 days time. So my focus this week is on the product hunt launch that is happening on 2nd September, and this is the link for those of you who are interested in supporting me, right? You can head over to this link. I'll put it in the YouTube video below, where you can click on this and just click on notify, and when it happens, when the launch happens, it will notify you that you can actually engage with this launch. Okay. The next thing is I'm also trying to do more founders outreach. This takes a backseat first because I'm trying to focus on the product hunt launch, and I'm trying to just get more YC contacts founders in that first place, because my hypothesis is that they are very focused on high growth, right, and they have no time to deal with it. I can be there to help them deal with that thing, deal with like content and blocking strategy. Interesting topic that I want to focus on in the coming sprint is actually to go deep into this topic with a component hub. So something like Shed CN, this one, where you have components that you can steal, right? Can I also have a component hub that I can use to build, add a block to existing Next.js site? And finally, right, some of my early stage founder outreach, a lot of them are doing founder-led sales, right? And they are thinking about how to use content for sales, right? So this is my newsletter for early 0 to 1 stage growth, right? And also some features is also some upcoming features that I want to think more about is guest posting and also custom components. So this has come up a couple of times in conversations with people. So people are emailing me for different feature requests or how-tos, right? And that's it. So this is a breakdown on what has happened in the last 2 weeks as a reflection of like just for me to reflect on the growth, as well as like what's next for us. Okay. And maybe I'll talk about something interesting. So something interesting that happened this week is that I also did a podcast with Sherry, my previous co-founder from Blue Jay Now Pick, right? Which is also one of my customers over here. I'm also her customer's assistant, right? So do look out for that podcast. That podcast will talk about like how we break up, why we break up, and the aftermath after when co-founders break up, what happens, right? And how do I think about starting a new company from there on? That would be an interesting podcast. When it's ready, I might link it in this video. And that's it. Thanks for spending the last 30 minutes with me. Have a great day.